All right, I'm joined by smiling Sam Alvey, who fights Gian Villante June 1st at UFC Fight Night Utica. How are you doing? Just tell us a little bit about what you're doing today.
Yeah, I'm doing wonderful. Right now, we're working on adopting a kid, and there's all sorts of rules and guidelines we have to follow. And one of it is we have to get our dog shots. So I'm sitting here at a clinic just waiting for my turn.
Okay.
My dogs are very excited about it.
I bet. And I mean, we all know that you're a family man. Your wife corners you a lot, during fights, and you've even brought your children along, haven't you, to fights? So how do you kind of
every fight they're there.
Every fight. Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
My wife was 8.5 months pregnant, and we just couldn't bring all of them.
Yeah. So how do you juggle family life and full time as a fighter?
Just always been what I do. For me, it was never really balancing. It was just that's what life is. And so the more success I've had, it just kind of stayed the same. I do the same thing. I train with my kids. I train with my wife, and they just what we do.
So with the adoption, then, what kind of details do you know? Do you know? Have you seen is it a baby? Is it a child?
If everything goes according to plan, she'll be about 2.5 when we get her.
Oh,
so right now I've got 4, 3, and 1. She'll be our little 2-year-old. So it'll be 4, 3, 2, and 1.
And would you want to adopt any more after, or do you think that's it?
We'll see. I know we want more biological as well, but yeah, we'll see. We're not opposed to anything.
Oh wow!
It's we'll see if I keep winning.
Yeah. And just talk a little bit about, because we have seen your wife in your corner before, talk a little bit about kind of how that came about and how she started, corner you and getting so involved in your fights.
Yeah, in the beginning, when I just started fighting, if I said she was my corner, it was a free ticket. She got in for free. So she was my corner, and she just started taking a lot more serious than I did. I mean, the reason I'm at Team Quest is because she made the move. She picked the gym. She's a vital part of all of my camps nowadays, and so that's why she's in the corner. I've got over 50 fights, and she's been to each and every one of them.
How is that kind of, to have that, level of support? How much does that mean to you?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I love what I do. I love the life that my wife and I have created. She's a big part of it, both in and out of that octagon.
And I saw after your last win, you took the children your family to Disneyland. How was that? It was a great way to celebrate.
After my last fight, we went to Disney World. We were there for a weekend. Oh, that was more exhausting than the fight. We went to all 5 lands, and we had 3 kids, and my wife was in a stroller, in a wheelchair the whole time. She broke her leg. So it was a lot of fun. It was just a busy week.
And talk a little bit about that when you're coming off a KO victory, and you had I think it was 5 decision fights go to decision, so that kind of put a stop to that. How I suppose not relieved, but how great was that feeling to finally get the job done and in such a great fashion?
I trained. It was the first real camp I've had in a while, and it felt great. Being able to go out there and perform. I spent a lot of the last 1.5 years taking notice fights, really just trying to inch together. But I'm ready for my title shot or for my title run. And so I'm going to start picking my fights a little smarter. I'm going to start training full camps for everything and really work my way up till I get that shot against the champion.
And you, in your last fight, obviously you moved to light heavyweight. So what was the kind of thought process behind that, and is that somewhere that you're going to stay now?
Yeah, the thought is I asked the UFC for a fight, and they said they didn't have anything for me at 85 until April. So I said, all right, do you have anything at 205? And they got back to us the next day and said, yeah, we've got something. How would you like to fight Marcin Prachnio? And I said, yeah, let's do it. It'll be a wonderful fight. So it was a way easier weight cut, and I had such a good time not cutting as much weight. I'm going to stay here until the UFC asked me to go back down. Right. I feel good here. I'm still walking at about 230, but I walked at about 230 when I fought 85 also. So it's just less of a weight cut, and I feel pretty good because of it.
So just explain kind of the differences that you felt then kind of walking around, not having to cut so much weight, and how that kind of affected your performance as well. Did you see the differences, and did you feel the differences?
You know, in the octagon, I really didn't feel any different. I felt like I had just as much energy, I was just as much everything. But the camp went better. I didn't have to stress out about what I could eat, what I couldn't eat. I've been working with George Lockhart in his nutrition plan for quite a while now, and it really helped me maintain size while dieting for 205, and that helped quite a bit.
And you called out Gian Villante, who you're going to be facing next, June 1st. Why him?
Because I'd met him before and he was great. We talked for, I don't know, 15 minutes and really enjoyed being around him. So I figured I'd enjoy being in the octagon with him as well. He's a ranked fighter right now, so I think it was smart on that part. As I really am going to start climbing those rankings, break into the top 10 and the top 5, hopefully. But for now, I like him, so I figured let's make some money together.
So what do you think he brings to the table? I mean, obviously you're not going to call out someone that you don't think you're going to be able to beat, right? So what did you see there, and have you seen anything that you know you're going to be able to, I suppose, take advantage of?
You know, to be honest, I think I could beat anyone. So if I call someone out, it's not so much because I think I could beat them more than I could beat someone else. Because I think I could beat anyone any day of the week. I just gotta be ready for it. This really it's a fun fight. He is a big power puncher. I've been known to be a power puncher myself. He's one of the biggest guys in the division too. So I really, because I was one of the bigger middleweights, and I'm kind of middle of the road light heavyweights. So I wanted to test myself against a guy who's going to be bigger and stronger than me. And I think he's just the perfect guy for the task.
And has anything changed in terms of preparing for him during your camp? And if so, kind of what's the schedule like, and what's kind of taking place in camp at the moment?
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing is my weight training. I've always loved weight training, but I could not do it nearly as much when I cut to 85 because I'd stay thick. Now, as I'm don't have as much of a cut, I get to lift more, and I love lifting. So it's just a lot more fun I get to have during my camp.
He's had, I think he's coming off of 2 split decision victories, not victories, but split decisions. Do you see this fight going the distance? Obviously, he has also knockout power, like you said. How do you see this unfolding?
I don't see it going the distance. He hits hard. I've seen him drop people with one punch. I've got that one punch power, and we both have a pace that we're consistent with that pace. So I definitely see us making contact. I'm just hoping I make contact, before he does.
And you mentioned about getting a title run as well. How far away and how many fights do you think you need to be able to get up there?
Well, I hope 2 fights from now. So not Gian, but 2 after Gian. Okay. I'm fighting for a top 5 position. Then maybe if I can do well, if I can slump a couple people, get a couple big knockouts, great fights, maybe I could challenge for it in 3 fights, 4 fights maybe.
And what do you think about the landscape of the light heavyweight division?
Sorry, what was that?
What do you think about the landscape of the light heavyweight division? Obviously, there's a lot of people are saying how shallow the division is at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a big division, a fun division. It's a division where people still move like lighter guys, not quite like the heavyweights, but they still pack that power. So everyone in that division, whether you're a quote unquote wrestler or a striker, you've got that ability to wrestle and strike. So it's not an easy path, but I think I'm ready for it.
And what do you think about Daniel Cormier taking on Stipe Miocic?
Oh, I love the fight. I love DC as a champion. I love Stipe as a champion. So I really look forward to that fight. It's one of the first big heavyweight fights I've been looking forward to, because I don't know who's going to win. I lean towards Stipe. I think that size will make a difference, but I'm not sure. DC's very talented, and he's got that Olympic wrestling background that is second to none.
And in your old division, we'll say maybe now, what do you think about your Romero getting the rematch against Robert Whittaker? How do you think that's going to go down?
I think it's a fun fight too. I know I'm pulling for Whittaker. I like him. And Romero cheats. He's a cheater. Every fight he grabs the fence or he spills water on himself or this or that. He popped for a tainted supplement once. So he's a cheater, and Whittaker's not. So I'm a big fan. I'll be pulling for him. But it really will be a fun fight.
And then if we get to see Khabib versus Conor, How do you think that goes down?
The fight will never happen, but Khabib would walk through him, and that's why I think the fight will never happen. I think Conor's proven time and time again he's just a chicken heart, and fighting someone as powerful and good at dominating wrestling, grappling as Khabib is, it's just Conor doesn't stand a chance.
And what did you think of that whole fiasco?
I think Conor did what Conor does. He makes an ass out of himself every time he goes anywhere. Just this time it affected other people, so it was really unfortunate. Hopefully everyone sues him for what he's worth and humbles him a little bit.
And then lastly, before I'll let you go in a minute. Lastly, how do you predict getting the win June 1st?
It's never the answer people want to hear, but I tell them every fight I predict a 3rd round submission.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, Sam, and good luck with everything today, and good luck with the adoption as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I really
you very
appreciate
much.
it.
Speak to you soon, hopefully. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.